Writing standard DBQ essays. Step 7. Write your essay. This is part 8 of an 8-part series on how to write standard DBQ essays in history. Each video covers a different step in the writing process. You can watch them all consecutively or come back to review individual steps as needed. Every document I reference will always be available for download in the video description. The final step is to write your paper. While it's taken us quite a bit of work to get to this point, it will all be worth it when we breeze through the writing of a superb essay. Here's what mine looks like. You can download this completed essay in the video description. It's only 4 paragraphs, but they are constructed with care and communicate a coherent and convincing argument about the fall of Rome. I had my completed processor in front of me as I wrote and simply copied over my thesis and claims. The introduction took a bit of time, but I just followed the expectations in the outline. I set the stage for the question by building context. The question is then formally raised and followed by the thesis. My body paragraphs are simply a presentation and explanation of the documents. I quoted directly from some of them and paraphrased others. Before we finish, let's take a moment to talk about citing documents as you use them in your essay. When writing a formal essay or research paper that makes explicit use of outside information, you need to identify where you found the information. We call this process citation. When you cite a piece of evidence, you identify the author and the name of the source. There are many different citation styles. You may have heard of the MLA, APA, or Chicago style. Historians use the Chicago style of citation or the closely related Turabian style. You don't have to use any of these citation styles when writing a DBQ. It's something you'll do when you write a research paper. For DBQs, you'll use a much less formal citation method when you put a document number in parentheses following the sentence or sentences you use from a document. You'll do this for documents you quote directly or put into your own words. Take a look at my first body paragraph. In the centuries leading up to its collapse, the Roman Empire was in a state of cultural and political decline. Edward Gibbon argues in The Decline and Fall of the Roman Empire that the Roman Empire had so much success that laziness and a sense of entitlement pervaded Roman society. Prosperity ripened the principle of decay. Doc 1. As you can see, I directly quoted Edward Gibbon and indicated Doc 1 in parentheses at the end. It's good practice to introduce the author and his work in your actual text. There are many stylistic choices in terms of how you write the quote, but the use of a brief introduction followed by a comma and the quote is quite common, which is what I did. Gibbon doesn't argue that cultural decline alone would bring down the empire, but that its existence limited Rome's ability to resist the later barbarian invasions. The causes of destruction multiplied with the extent of the conquest. Doc 1. Notice that I used another short quote from the document. You do not have to use the complete document when you quote it. In fact, it's almost always bad practice. Find the best part that serves your overall point and quote that. If applicable, use the 3 dots called an ellipses to indicate that the beginning or the end of what you're quoting is not the beginning or the end of the sentence in the original quote. Finally, look at what I've done with document 3. The chart in document 3 indicates that between 235 and 285 CE, Rome had 21 emperors, most of whom served only a few years and met untimely deaths. Doc 3. This suggests that Rome's political system was significantly flawed in the last centuries of the empire. Citizens likely felt a sense of unease and lack of confidence in their leaders, which would likely have ripple effects in other areas. It's a chart, so I can't quote it directly, but what I can do is describe it and draw conclusions. You can do this with any document you choose, and it still counts as making use of the documents. Just don't forget to cite the document. Well, we've done it. You should now be well equipped to tackle any sort of DBQ that comes your way. Just remember to start with an effort to genuinely understand the question, then carefully read, annotate, and label your documents. Take some time to bucket your documents and be used as evidence. Write your claim sentences and then your thesis. Fill out your evidence and logic in the provided essay processor, and write your paper. The DBQ process is a lot less intimidating if you break it down into manageable steps. I hope you find it to be a fun and rewarding experience. Review this video and the provided documents as much as you need to, and don't hesitate to ask your teacher for further help and explanation. Good luck, young historian.
Citing.